There's an old quote that says, using order to deal with the disorderly, using calm to deal with the clamorous, is mastering the heart. When I first heard that, I thought it was talking about dealing with difficult people. But the more life I experienced, the more I realized it wasn't really about them. It was about you. Because anybody can stay calm when everything is going their way. Anybody can be patient when nobody is testing them. Anybody can be positive when life is easy. The real test comes when life gets messy. The real test comes when people disappoint you, when somebody talks about you, when someone betrays your trust, when you lose money, when things don't go according to plan. See, that's when you find out what's really living inside your heart. A lot of people spend years trying to control everything around them. They try to control situations. They try to control outcomes. They try to control people. And if we're honest, that's exhausting. Because no matter how hard you try, you can't control what people do. You can't control what people say. You can't control how people treat you. But what you can control is how you respond. And that's where wisdom begins. One of the greatest lessons life has taught me in all of this is your greatest enemy isn't always the person standing in front of you. Sometimes it's the emotion arising within you. Anger, fear, pride, bitterness, jealousy, impatience. Most people think that their biggest battles are external. But some of the most important battles happen when nobody can see them. Inside your own mind, inside your own heart. Let's think about it. How many relationships have been destroyed because somebody couldn't control their emotions? How many opportunities have been lost because somebody reacted instead of thinking? How many careers have been damaged because somebody let one emotional moment make a permanent decision? One conversation, one text message, one angry outburst, one impulsive decision. That's all it takes. The problem isn't that emotions exist. God gave us emotions. The problem is when emotions become our leaders. Because emotions make terrible leaders. Emotions change with circumstances. One day you're confident. The next day you're discouraged. One day you're hopeful. The next day you're frustrated. One day you feel strong. The next day you feel weak. If your life is built on feelings, your life will constantly move up and down with every situation you face. That's what wisdom matters. Wisdom gives stability when emotions are unstable. Wisdom helps you pause before you react. Wisdom helps you see beyond the moment. And that's becoming rare. Because we're living in a world that encourages reaction. React immediately. Post immediately. Respond immediately. Defend yourself immediately. But wisdom often does the opposite. Wisdom pauses. Wisdom observes. Wisdom thinks. Wisdom asks questions before drawing conclusions. And that's not weakness. That's strength. Anybody can lose their temper. Anybody can say something that they'll regret. Anybody can react. But it takes discipline to remain calm when everything around you is chaotic. It takes discipline to stay focused when distractions are everywhere. It takes discipline to keep your character when people around you are losing theirs. That's why I believe some of the strongest people you'll ever meet aren't loud. They're not always the most successful people either. They're not always the most powerful people. They're the people who learn how to govern themselves. The people who learn how to control their spirit. The people who learn that not every battle deserves their energy. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every insult deserves a reaction. Not every disagreement deserves a war. Some things become smaller when you stop feeding them. Scripture puts it this way in Proverbs. It says, better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city. Let's think about that. The world celebrates people who conquer cities, but God celebrates people who conquer themselves. That's completely different way of looking at strength. Because real strength isn't always found in what you can overcome around you. Sometimes it's found in what you can overcome within you. Guarding your heart is so important. because everything flows from it. Your decisions flow from it. Your relationships flow from it. Your peace flows from it. Your purpose flows from it. Everything. And if your heart becomes filled with bitterness, eventually your life will reflect it. If your heart becomes filled with anger, eventually your decisions will reflect it. But if your heart is anchored in wisdom, your life will begin to reflect that too. I've learned that peace isn't the absence of problems. Peace is the ability to remain calm while facing them. Anybody can have peace when there is no storm. The real question is, can you remain calm when the storm arrives? Can you stay disciplined when emotions tell you to quit? Can you stay faithful when circumstances don't make sense? Can you remain wise when everything or everyone else is reacting? Because that's where character is built. That's where maturity is developed. That's where wisdom is earned. And there's a cost to gain wisdom. And sometimes that cost is disappointment. Sometimes it's failure. Sometimes it's learning lessons the hard way. But the burden of wisdom is still lighter than the consequences of ignorance. So maybe the goal isn't controlling every situation. Maybe the goal is mastering your heart. When you learn to lead yourself, life loses some of the power to shape you. The noise may still be loud. The chaos may still be present. The challenges may still come, but you'll remain steady. And in a world full of reaction, that kind of discipline becomes a rare form of strength. Faith opens the door. Wisdom shows you where to walk. And discipline helps you stay in the path when life tries to pull you away. Faith plus works equals success. Tap in.